Hello everyone. Friends, again let me welcome you all to the second lecture, yet another on quantitative technique. Today's topic as far as quantitative techniques is concerned is averages. There are various averages. The knowledge and application of averages everyone needs, especially in the process of decision making process, usually at officers level. Friends, let us look at important concepts of averages. The following are the various types of averages. The most popular and the important one is arithmetic mean, or simply we call it as a mean. Next one is median, mode, geometric mean and harmonic mean. These are 5 types of different kinds of averages developed to handle different situations, especially in the process of, as I told you, in the process of decision making processes. Friends, let us look at arithmetic mean as an average. What is arithmetic mean? Arithmetic mean of a given set of observations is their sum divided by the number of observations. What I mean to say is, arithmetic mean is simply sum of the given number of observations divided by their number of observations. For example, the arithmetic mean of 5, 8, 10, 15, 24 and 28 will be 15. So, therefore, a simple definition of arithmetic mean, ratio of sum of the observations to the number of observations involved in. So, therefore, in general, if x1, x2, xn are the given n observations, then their arithmetic mean, usually denoted by x bar, is given by summation of x divided by n, and the details of how the formula for arithmetic mean has been developed is given here, and where the n is simply the total number of frequencies. Friends, in case of continuous or grouped frequency distribution, the value of x is taken as the mid value of the corresponding classes, and then the arithmetic mean is calculated. And just to inform you that the symbol sigma is the letter capital sigma of the Greek alphabet and is used to represent sum of the observations mathematically. Then let us look at steps for the computation of arithmetic mean. There are few steps, hardly 3. Number 1 is, friends, multiply each value of x or the mid value of class interval by the corresponding frequency. This is in case of group data, and obtain the total of the product obtained in step 1 above to get summation of f of x. Then the third step will be divide the total obtained in step 2 by n. What is n here? Total frequency. The resultant value will be arithmetic mean. So, therefore, there are 2 different formulas, one for ungrouped data, other for grouped data. I have given you both the formula, when to use, which formula to be used in case of grouped data, ungrouped data, which formula to be used in case of grouped data. Friends, now let us look at illustrative examples on arithmetic mean, and let me tell you one important thing, that arithmetic mean is applicable only to the data which is quantitative in nature. We will be speaking about what is quantitative and qualitative later, but anyway, the data which is measured on any metric scale, either on ratio scale or interval scale, will usually be used for applying arithmetic mean. Here is one simple example. The intelligent quotient of 10 boys in a class are given below. We have 10 observations. The arithmetic mean of all these 10 observations comes out to be 97.2, and this is what we mean by arithmetic mean of ungrouped data. We have here another example which is an illustrative for grouped data, and the example is this. The following is the frequency distribution of number of telephone calls received in 245 successive 1 unit intervals at an exchange, and the data is given here. So, let the variable x denotes the number of calls received per minute at the exchange, and the corresponding frequency is also given. From the given data, what we are supposed to do is generate one more row, that is called f of x, that is f into x, and take the sum of f row and f x row. So, sum of f row is given by n is equal to 245, sum of the product of f x is looks to be 922. Therefore, mean number of calls per minute at the exchange is given by x bar is equal to, with the usual formula, summation f x by n, and that amounts to be 922 divided by 245, and the result is 3.763 calls per unit interval of time. Friends, now after having looked at two different examples, one on ungrouped data and other on grouped data, let us look at properties of this arithmetic mean. There are some important properties, and they are as follows. Number one is algebraic sum of deviations of the given set of observations from their arithmetic mean is 0. This is important. Why? Because if you take deviations of all observations from their arithmetic mean, and if you take their total, it comes out to be 0, and that is what its property. Then second property is mean of the compound series. What I mean is, if there are two different sets of series, how can you get the mean? And the procedure is as follows. If we know the series and means of two component series, then we can find the mean of the resultant series obtained on combining the given series. That is, if n1 and n2 are the number of observations of two different sets of series, and x1 bar and x2 bar are the respective means of the two groups, then the common mean, combined mean x bar of size n1 plus n2 is given by this formula, and that is x bar is equal to n1 into x1 bar plus n2 into x2 bar. This becomes a part of the numerator divided by n1 plus n2. This formula will give us a common mean in case of two groups, and same thing can be extended in case of 3 groups, 4 groups, and like that. Then the third important property is sum of the squares of deviations of the given set of observations is minimum. There is a typing mistake, it should be is minimum when taken from their arithmetic mean. This is simply an extension of second property. Then fourth property is, if W1, W2, W3 are the weights of x1, x2, xn, where x1, x2, xn are values of the variable, and W1, W2, so on up to Wn are the respective weights, then the weighted arithmetic mean will be given by x bar weighted is equal to summation xi wi divided by summation wi. This is very useful in case weights of values of the variable varies in some cases. Then friends, let us look at merits and demerits of this arithmetic mean. Merits are 4. One is, it is rigidly defined. What I mean to tell you is, its definition is very clear and perfect. There is no ambiguity in its definition. That is what we mean by it is rigidly defined. It is easy to calculate and understand, because its concept is simple, because it is based on all observations, and that is what the fourth property. So, merit, third merit. What is third merit? The calculation of arithmetic mean is based on all observations. What I mean is, in its construction, it makes use of all the observations, and therefore, representativeness is available there. Then fourth merit is, it is suitable for further mathematical treatment. I mean, it can be used for any further mathematical activity using arithmetic mean. Friends, there are also demerits obviously, and those demerits are like this. The strongest drawback of arithmetic mean is that it is very much affected by extreme observations. I mean, if there is any variation in the values of the observations, it is being affected by that variations. For example, if there are 3 values 1, 2, 3, arithmetic mean will be 2. If the third value is 30, the arithmetic mean will be greatly affected. In that sense, it is affected by extreme values. And another demerit of the arithmetic mean is that it can't be determined by inspection, nor can it be located graphically like we do in case of median and mode, which we will be discussing later. Arithmetic mean cannot be used if we are dealing with qualitative characteristics. As I told in the beginning, arithmetic mean is applicable only to the data which are measured on some metric scale, As I told you, metric scale could be ratio scale or interval scale. So, therefore, arithmetic mean cannot be applied for the data which are qualitative in nature. So, therefore, only quantitative data can be used in order to calculate arithmetic mean. So, which are the qualitative data? Qualitative data are something like intelligence, honesty, color, beauty. These are different kind of data and they are called qualitative data. In case of such qualitative data, arithmetic mean cannot be used. Friends, after having studied arithmetic mean, let us look at another measure of central tendency or an average called median, and this median is very important, especially in case of a situation where the entire data is of qualitative in nature, and therefore, let us define what is median. Median is simply the middle value of the observed data set after having arranged the data in the increasing order of their magnitude, and therefore, median is that value of the variable which divides the group into two equal parts. One part comprises all the values greater than median and all other values less than the median. Hence, median of an ungrouped data is given by n plus 1 by tooth observation of the ordered data set. For example, find the median of 5 observations. The 5 observations are given here, they are 35, 12, 40, 8 and 60. So, in order to get median, what we should do is, you first arrange the data in the increasing order of their magnitude, and that arranged data set is 8, 12, 35, 40 and 60. So, by definition it should be n plus 1 by tooth observation. What is n? The number of observations. How many observations we have here? 5, and therefore, 5 plus 1 by 2 is 3. Third observation will be the median of the data set. Which is the third observation in this case? 35 is the third observation in the ordered data set, and therefore, median of the given data set is 3. Friends, second example. This example is for such a situation where number of observations are even in number. If observations are odd, naturally we will get a middle. If number of observations are even, then middle observation will not be available. In that case, what we do is, we go in for the average of the two middle observations of the ordered data set, and therefore, example 2 is this: find median of 35, 12, 50, 40, 8 and 60. So, arranged data set will be 8, 12, 35, 40, 50 and 60. Now, n plus 1 by tooth observation is nothing but 7 divided by tooth observation, that is 3.5, since this comes in fraction. So, therefore, in order to get median, what we are supposed to do is take the average of third and fourth observation of the ordered data set, and therefore, median is equal to 35 plus 40 divided by 2, and that amounts to be 37 by 2. This is how different situations can be handled in order to get a median value. Friends, median in case of group data is something different, in the sense an approximate formula has been developed, and that formula is median is equal to L plus H by F inside the bracket n by 2 minus C, where what is L? L is the lower limit of the median class. I will tell you what is median class later. F is the frequency of the median class, H is the width of the median class, n is the total frequency, and C is the cumulative frequency of the cells preceding to the median class. Note that median class is the class interval corresponding to the cumulative frequency which is just greater than n by 2, and therefore, in order to solve the problems related to group data, the first job is to from the data given, values given on x and f, we are supposed to generate one more column, that is called cumulative frequency, and then identify cumulative frequency which is just greater than n by 2. Then after having identified cumulative frequency just greater than n by 2, corresponding class interval is termed as median class. Once the median class is identified, rest of the job becomes easy. Simply substitute the values and obtain the median for the group data. Friends, now let us look at merits and demerits of this median. Merits are, it is rigidly defined, there is no ambiguity. It is easy to calculate and understand because formula is very simple, and median can be calculated for open end classes also. Friends, for example, while studying arithmetic mean just earlier, what we have said is arithmetic mean cannot be calculated for open end classes, whereas median can be calculated for open end classes, and that was the merit or advantage of using median. Median can sometimes be located by simple inspection and can also by calculating graphically, and therefore median, to obtain median or to get median, it is not necessary that only formula can be used. Median can also be located using OERC curves of more than the type and less than the type. At the intersection of both OERC curves of more than the type and less than the type will give us median of the distribution. And another merit of the median is the only average to be used for qualitative data. This is very important, and therefore the point to be noted here is that median can be used as an average when one is dealing with qualitative data, and that is what important. And friends, demerits of this median are, number one is, in case of even number of data, exact median is not available, and therefore modified approach has been explained earlier. Median is not suitable for further mathematical treatment. This is very important, and that is why demerit. Why? Because arithmetic mean can be used for in any mathematical further development, but median cannot be used. Median is relatively less stable than mean. It is because it is not, because approach of calculating median differs from group to ungrouped. Median is, that is why median is less stable. Median is not based on all observations. Friend, this is really a drawback of the median. Why? Because when we are trying to calculate an average, it is supposed to be based on all the observations which are available, but median neglects all the remaining observations, but focuses only on the middle value. It does not care whether first and the last values are less or more or fluctuated because of sampling, and that is what its demerit. Friends, after having studied arithmetic mean as an average, and next we have looked at median as an average for qualitative data, then yet another average or measure of center tendency is available, and that is called mode. This mode is again useful for handling qualitative data of different nature. And what is the nature? Let us see. The definition of mode goes like this: mode is the value which occurs most frequently. In other words, it is that value of the observation for which frequency is maximum. In other words, mode is simply the most repeated or dominant value of the given data set. And therefore, if you look at example 1, what is this? Find mode of 5 observations. Friends, let us look at 5 observations: 35, 12, 40, 8 and 40. Here only 40 is repeated twice, all other observations are repeated only once, and therefore which observation is dominating? 40 is dominating, and therefore mode of the given distribution is 40. This is how it goes. And friends, in case of group data, an approach is different, and this is again an approximate formula, not the exact formula, and that is given by mode is equal to, there is a slight typing mistake, given by mode is equal to L plus inside the bracket H into another small bracket F1 minus F0 divided by 2 F1 minus F0 minus F2. I have explained here what we mean by L, F1, F0, F2 and H, and that is L is lower limit of the model class. Which is model class? A class interval corresponding to highest frequency given in the table. So therefore, an example is explained here. Which is highest frequency? Highest frequency is 15 in the example, and therefore model class corresponding to 15 is 60 to 80, and therefore 60 to 80 is a model class. So L is the lower limit of the model class, that means 60 is L. F1 is the frequency of the model class. Model class is 60 to 80 and therefore 15 is F1. F0 is the frequency of the class preceding to the model class. A class preceding to model class is 40 to 60 whose frequency is 12 and therefore F0 is 12. And what is F2? F2 is the frequency of the class succeeding to the model class, and model class succeeding to a class succeeding to model class is 80 to 100, corresponding frequency is 7 and that becomes F2 for substituting in the formula. H is simply magnitude of the model class or width of the model class. Friends, after having looked at the formula and examples on mode, now let us look at its advantages and disadvantages or merits and demerits of mode. Merits are like this: it is easy to calculate and understand, and its definition is not rigid. That is what again it comes in the demerit. Mode can be calculated for open end classes, and that is what is its advantage. Mode can sometimes be located by simple inspection and can also be calculated graphically. So, therefore, if one is working on simple bar charts or histogram, there also using the graph you can locate median and also mode, and therefore that is what an advantage, and that is listed in the merit. The greatest demerit of the mode is that it is not suitable for further mathematical treatment and its definition is not rigidly defined. Why? Because there can be 2 modes, there can be 3 modes, and that is why definition is not rigid. This is what with regard to mode. Now, friends, after having illustrated 3 averages like arithmetic mean, median and mode, now let us look at another different average, and its name is geometric mean. The important point to be noted with respect to geometric mean is that the geometric mean is applicable only to the data which are in terms of rates and ratios. For example, percentages. So, therefore, if the data is in terms of rates, then only geometric mean can be used, but not the arithmetic mean. Let me tell you one simple example. Imagine that a professor has invested money in 2 different banks. One bank gives 7% and the other bank gives 9%. So, if you ask this question to general public regarding what is the average dividend that the professor gets, if you ask him like that, usually people tend to say that average of the 2, what do they do is they take arithmetic average of 7 and 9 and that comes out to be 8, but practically speaking that is not the suitable average dividend that a professor gets, and therefore, what is the suitable average? Geometric mean is the suitable average. How to get the geometric mean? Take the product of the 2 and then square root of that will give us the exact average dividend that a professor gets. So, it goes like that. So, therefore, friends, the definition of geometric mean goes like this: geometric mean usually abbreviated as GM of a set of n observations, and it is the nth root of their product, as I told you. Thus, if x1, x2, xn are the given observations, then their GM is given by simply nth root of the product. In other words, product to the power 1 upon n. So, therefore, if n is 2, means if there are only 2 observations, the geometric mean of the 2 is simply take the product and then square root of that will give us the geometric mean. The one example we have here for illustration, geometric mean of 4 and 16 is simply square root of 4 into 16, that comes out to be square root of 64 and the result is 8. Note that geometric mean in case of group data is different, and that is given by GM is equal to nt log of bracket 1 upon n summation fi log xi. Why? Because given the values of x and f, what we are supposed to do is generate few more columns, one for log xi, other for product of frequency and the corresponding log xi, then take their sum, divide by the total number of frequency, and at the end take the nt log of that, which will be the geometric mean of the group data. That is how it goes. Friends, while working on the definition of geometric mean, you must have observed that its calculation is not that easy. It is based on geometric progression. So, therefore, it is not that easy to calculate and that easy to understand, and that is listed in the demerit of geometric mean. And therefore, friends, let us now look at what are its merits and what are its demerits. I mean merits and demerits of geometric mean. Merits: it is easy and rigidly defined. It is based on all observations, and that is really true. It is suitable for further mathematical treatment, and that is again a good property and good advantage of geometric mean. It is the only suitable measure for data which are in terms of rates. As I told you, if you are working on data like percentages, then you must only concentrate on geometric mean in order to get the average, but not the arithmetic mean. This is with a caution. Then demerit is, it is not easy to understand and easy to calculate, because in case of group data, the geometric mean will be given by number of observations. A number of observations are raised to the power of their respective frequencies, then product is taken, and the result is nth root of the result is taken, and that is how it is not that easy to understand and calculate. These are merits and demerits of geometric mean. So, after having studied 4 averages, friends, let me come back to yet another important average, and its name is harmonic mean. Friends, in the beginning only, let me tell you, harmonic mean is again useful to the data that represents speed. For example, speed of vehicles, speed of trains, speed of aeroplanes, the speed with which a person is typing, like that. So, therefore, any data which represents speed, then such data will ask for harmonic mean as an average. So, therefore, what is the definition of harmonic mean? Harmonic mean is defined as the ratio of number of observations to the sum of their reciprocals. Yeah, that is true. In fact, it is the ratio of reciprocals, and that is why if x1, x2, xn are the given set of observations, what we are supposed to do is you generate another column with their reciprocals. For example, if x1 is there, find 1 upon x1, if x2 is there, find 1 upon x2, like that generate second column, take its sum, and then n divided by sum of these reciprocals will give us harmonic mean. And friends, note that HM for group data can be obtained by using a different formula, and that formula is given here, and that is harmonic mean is equal to capital N. Capital N here represents total frequency, divided by sum of Fi minus Xi. What is Fi minus Xi? It is the ratio of Fi and Xi generated in the table itself. And therefore, one illustrative example with regard to application of harmonic mean in case of group data is like this. A railway runs for 30 minutes at a speed of 40 miles an hour, and then because of the repairs of the track runs for 10 minutes at a speed of 8 miles an hour, after which it resumes its previous speed and runs for 20 minutes, except for a period of 2 minutes later, when it had to run over a bridge with a speed of 30 miles per hour. What is the average speed? Friends, here the data given is related to the speed of a train at different situations with a different speed and different time periods, and therefore, suitable formula here is harmonic mean is equal to 40 divided by 60 into 30. Here what is 30 is the time taken, and 40 miles. What is this 40 mile? Out of the total distance covered is 60, and therefore, it is 40 divided by 60 into 30. Speed of one portion of the journey plus 8 by 60 into 10 speed of the train of another portion of the journey plus 40 divided by 60 into 18, again third portion of the journey plus 30 by 60 into 2, it is the journey of the train of the last portion. of last portion, then divided by, there is a typing mistake, it is not plus, it is divided by 30 plus 10 plus 20. The result comes out to be 34.33 miles per hour. This is with a caution. Once again, let me remind to the listeners, candidates, that harmonic mean is applicable to the data which represents speed. With this, I would like to thank all the aspirants of KSET examination, that while working on averages, kindly see that arithmetic mean is applicable only to the quantitative data measured on ratio scale or interval scale. Median is applicable to the qualitative data. Mode is again applicable to the qualitative data. Geometric mean only for the data representing rates and ratios, and harmonic mean is again only for the data representing speed. With this, I take this opportunity to thank all of you. Thank you very much.
ಇಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನೀಡಿದ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ SB ಮಾಡಿಗೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.